Since December of last year, we have been working at transforming this used to be screened-in porch into a home office space. Now, 5 months later, the renovation is complete and we are working on adding those finishing touches to the room. So in today's video, we are going to transform this side of the office by adding some IKEA shelves that we are going to DIY and make our own and add decor, paint. We love how it turned out. It was exactly what this room needed. So stay tuned until the end of the video to see the reveal, and I hope that you enjoy this video. We are going to start off by heading to IKEA to pick up the 4-section I-bar shelving unit for the office wall. Unfortunately, you cannot order this shelving unit online. It has to be picked up in store. So since IKEA is about a 3-hour drive away from us, we decided to just make it a family day and take the boys to the aquarium afterwards. So after the little road trip to Phoenix and a quick stop at Chick-fil-A for lunch, we arrived here at IKEA. We shopped through the store a little bit and then just headed straight down to the warehouse to find all the pieces we'd need for the shelving unit. We had to get 22 of the I-bar shelves, 5 side units, and 2 steel cross braces. Once he collected everything, we headed to the checkout and then over to the Odyssey Aquarium there in Phoenix. We had never been here before and it was so much fun. The boys had a blast. They learned a lot. I would highly recommend it if you're in the area or visiting. It's just a really neat aquarium. Okay, so it's the next morning and we are going to start working on this shelving unit. We got everything unloaded out of the truck and started to set up the shelves on the carport so that I could start staining. So I am staining the top and sides of these shelves, letting them dry a few minutes and then flipping them over to stain the bottom as well. So the staining process took quite a bit longer than I thought it would. Like I said, there was a total of 22 shelves to stain and 5 side braces. I figured it would be a lot easier to just stain everything before we put it together, especially since this unit is going to be so large once it's assembled and we'll have to assemble it inside the office. And I am just using a rag to apply this stain. That's usually the easiest way for me to apply stain when I'm doing a staining project, but I know you can also use a roller or a brush. I have used a brush a few times. It just depends on the project, but I usually just end up going back to using a rag because it usually ends up being the easiest. Of course, they had to put a large sticker on the bottom of these shelves and they were very difficult to remove. Jalen had to use some Goo Gone and rubbing alcohol, but there was still a little bit of sticky residue left on the shelves. And when I stained over that area, you could see a little bit where the sticker had been. So just keep that in mind. It wouldn't be an issue if you were painting these shelves, but we wanted them to be stained. But once the stain was dry and the unit was assembled, you didn't really notice it, especially since it's on the bottom of the shelf and toward the back. This unit comes in this nice pine wood. It's smooth, sanded, ready to go, and you could just leave it this natural wood color if that's the look you're going for, but we wanted it to be stained so that it could match the other wood details in our house, including that faux beam on the office ceiling. And I feel like the stain just really transformed the piece and gave it a little upgrade. Okay, so all 22 shelves are stained. That took quite a while, and now I need to get started on the side pieces and everything. but at least the shelves are done. I feel like this was definitely the hardest part. The side pieces are going to be a little bit easier to stain, but I do want to paint a sealer on all of these shelves and just the entire piece. I think it might be a little bit easier to wait until it's all put together and then paint on the sealer. It was definitely easier to stain before putting everything together, but I think it might be easier to seal once everything's together. But we'll see. Right now this stain has to just finish completely drying because I can't put a sealer on anyway until it is absolutely completely dry. So just going to let that continue to dry while I stain the sides. I did not realize here that the microphone on my camera was turned off, but I was just telling you that I had finished staining everything, the side pieces and the shelves, and I took a little break to make myself a maple syrup iced coffee. But now we are back in the office and I'm going to work on some painting. I almost painted this back wall a dark accent color so that the stained shelves could go up against that accent color, but last minute I decided not to. I was really unsure about it, so I just figured if I'm not 100%, I better not do it. And once the shelves were installed, I was really glad that I didn't. But I am still having to paint 2 of the walls in this office because when we sprayed this room with paint, we thought 1 gallon would be enough, but we ran out, so I had to get a 2nd gallon to roll on some more paint at a few spots on 2 of the walls. But when I got a 2nd gallon of the agreeable gray color, it was not quite the same color as the 1st gallon. The 2nd gallon was actually the correct color and matched the rest of our house, but that 1st gallon, I guess, was not mixed correctly and was pulling more of a tannish color on some of the walls. So you could totally see where I had touched up the paint, so I had to completely repaint these 2 walls in the office. And then I'm also painting this wall in the dining room here because, like I had showed in a previous video, the contractor came back and finished up the drywall work and the texture and everything on this wall. Okay, so now it's the next morning. Yesterday evening I finished up all of this painting here in the dining room and also around the corner in that little area beside the closet, everywhere that he had done the drywall work basically. So I got all of this painted and then both of those walls painted in the office as well. And after spending basically all day yesterday staining and painting, I do not want to stain or paint again for a long time. But today we can finally start putting together these shelves, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see what they look like on this wall. Now we are finally getting this shelf put together, and I was really grateful that Jalen could help me put this together because one person has to basically just be holding the shelf while the other one puts it together. So it was my job to hold the shelf. If I would have let it go, it would have just fell over. Just putting the shelves in place does not hold this unit up. You have to have that brace in the back. So he secured all of the shelves in place, and then the last thing to add was the brace, and it was really easy to put together, thankfully. So each shelf had the 2 little pieces on either side that you just had to pop out, and then you put those 4 little pieces into the holes on the side braces, and then that is what your shelf pops into. So you just have to work your way along from the bottom to the top, and once that first unit was put together, we attached the second unit to the first unit. And once you have the first shelf in place on that second unit, you don't have to have a second person hold it anymore, just because that brace is holding up the other shelf, so then it will secure the rest of the shelves as well. if you are building 4 units together like this, you will need a second brace, and on the IKEA website, they put the braces on every other shelving unit, but we just decided to do it on either end. And then Jalen also attached the shelving unit to the wall because it is still slightly wobbly and we didn't want Levi to pull it over or anything drastic like that. So he did secure this to the wall. And once it was put together, I'm taking a quick break here to wash all of the windows. These windows had not been cleaned since the renovation, and I also had to clean like the door frame and the window frames as well because there was some texture and paint, different things like that on the frames. Now we're taking a quick lunch break, and I'm taking the boys their food first. They're eating on their new little picnic tables here on the back porch. We have quite a few of our meals out here on the back porch, so I wanted to add some kids picnic tables as well. These tables are from Best Choice Products, and I just went ahead and got 2 picnic tables because the boys have a lot of cousins, so now there's plenty of room if they come over. And these are some very nice, sturdy, good quality little kids picnic tables. If you're looking for some for this summer, they're also a sand and water table if you lift the top off, and they've got the cute little umbrella. So I will have the link for these down below if you're interested in those. So now I am getting started on painting the sealer onto these shelves. I know just a couple minutes ago I said that I didn't want to paint or stain again for a long time. I forgot that I still had to seal these shelves. Now that the sealer is completely dry, it is time to start styling these shelves, and I pulled this very dusty, dirty bin out of the storage room. This bin was packed full of books that I hadn't really been able to unpack since we had moved into the house because I didn't really have a bookshelf or anything to put them on. And I also got all of the kids' chapter books out of the boys' bedroom to put on one of the shelves as well. I'm sure we'll slowly be adding to our collection of kids' chapter books over the years as the boys grow up. And then I spent probably the next hour or 2 just styling these shelves. I ended up just shutting off the camera after a while because this did take me a while. I didn't have too much decor to work with, and it was a lot of shelves to style. Okay, so I'm going to end this video by walking you through what I have on the shelves and what my plans are. Starting off out here in the dining room, we are going to order the sliding doors tonight. We did pick out some sliding doors on Wayfair. They are going to go on either side of this opening, and we'll probably end up painting those black. So because of those black sliding doors, I was thinking about that when I was trying to decide if I wanted to paint this back wall a dark color. It would have been a lot of dark looking into the room with that dark accent wall and then also the black sliding doors. I'm actually really glad that I did not paint this back wall a dark color. I really love how the shelf looks up against this wall. I just really love how this turned out. That large horse canvas is from iCanvas. I have had that for probably almost 5 years now. The rug is from Boutique Rugs. I will link it down below. I used to have this rug in my old office. and I just decided to put it back in here. I think I had a different rug in here in a previous video, but I just ended up going back with the rug that I had in my old office. And then my desk and chair will go here, and I'll be facing out all of these windows, and then probably have some seating under these windows with some plants, maybe a tree and a lamp or something. Jalen did fasten these bookshelves to the wall, so they are very sturdy now. They do not budge an inch. They aren't going anywhere. And they are just like a tiny bit wobbly when you have it together. You can just like kind of jiggle it back and forth a little bit. This brace does help, and they all are connected. So you just connect each shelf onto these braces, and it just makes one long shelving unit. If you had an even bigger wall, you could just continue on attaching braces and shelves. It's just a really awesome idea if you want an easy wall of shelving. So the shelves are maybe a little bit empty. I used up basically all the decor that I had in my home decor closet. I didn't have anything else to put up here, and I didn't want to fill them too full either right away, because I know that I will add to these shelves over time, especially once I get my desk in here and everything. And just as we live with this space, I'll probably switch things up. I'll also be collecting more chapter books for the kids. So on this shelf, the kids' chapter books with the bookend, and then on this shelf, our books with that other bookend. I did all baskets on the bottom because I want this shelving unit to be practical as well, and to have plenty of storage for all of those little items that I just need to be able to throw in a basket. My desk probably won't have a lot of drawers, and so having baskets and bowls is going to be really helpful to store all of those items. So there is plenty of storage down here, and like I said, I also put some bowls and little baskets up here. So these are great. It looks really pretty as a piece of decor, but I can also throw just smaller items in there that I want to keep in my office. I got some greenery over here in the corner, and then up on the next shelf, just a little tray, and then some books, some greenery, and on the very top shelf, this large vase. So when you're styling bookshelves, you usually want to style in groups of 1, 3, or 5. I didn't do that for every single shelf, but usually that's a good rule of thumb to follow. And you also kind of want to think about a triangle shape when you're styling bookshelves, just so that everything is spread out evenly, like colors and textures, heights, greenery. So I've got black, black, and black, and then the greenery is kind of spaced out evenly. If I would just do like all the greenery in a row or all the tall vases in a row, it just wouldn't look right. You have to be able to spread things out throughout the shelves. And you'll see at a couple of spots that I set items on top of books, which is always a great idea to add some height. You can stack up either just one book or a couple of books to put like a vase or something like that on. All of this decor and everything I already had on hand. I didn't buy anything for these shelves yet, so I was just working with what I have. Here's a little closer look at that shelf. And then the next shelf down here, it's pretty minimal down here, just these two pieces and a book. I want to get a bunch of plants to put on all of these shelves because there's a lot of light coming into this room and hitting this back wall. So it would be the perfect spot to have a lot of plants. And these shelves will just be in progress for a while, but that's the fun thing about shelves, is just being able to move things around easily, often if you want to. This little tray I had over at my computer in our bedroom, and it's just got some random things like little battery chargers and batteries. And you can have open shelving, but also have storage, as you can see, as long as you add baskets and bowls, trays, all of those things you can use as storage. This was the first camera I ever bought for my YouTube channel, so I just keep that as a memory here on the shelf, along with my plaque from YouTube. Down here, another one of those baskets, books, the other bookend, and then up here I have another little basket for storage, just random little things in here like my blue light glasses and pens. Up on the next shelf, I stacked up these two large books and then put this vase on top. I DIY'd this vase a couple of months ago. I got it from Goodwill and then did an easy DIY and turned it into this cool textured piece. I added another bowl over here. It's for decor right now, but I could also use this as storage. Just throw some random things in there if I need to. And then a little plant over here. Up on the top shelf, 3 candlesticks, and then my plant. I took this plant from my kitchen shelves and put it in here because these shelves were really needing a hanging plant like this. So next time I get to town, I want to get another hanging plant or maybe 2 that I could put in here. Hanging plants are always a great item to add to shelves. Also on this shelf, I have this round basket and then this pot, and that is everything on the shelves. Like I said, I just had to stop. I didn't have any more decor and I didn't want the shelves to look too cluttered, especially for the video, but I'm sure that I will be adding to these, moving things around and just getting it how I would like it over the next couple of weeks, especially once I get the desk in here and everything. But we are really happy with how this is looking. We're so glad that we ended up just getting the shelving unit from IKEA. Instead of trying to build something ourselves, it just made it a lot easier. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Having this wall done makes me really excited to get this office completely finished so that I can finally start using it. We just need to add furniture and the sliding doors, and then this room will be complete. So stay tuned for that final video in this makeover series. Hopefully that will go live next month and we could just have this room completely finished, furnished, and decorated. So stay tuned for that. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next week on Tuesday with a new video. Bye.